You ready? Because I think we're gonna go live here in a sec.
Maybe it's 2 day. What is this?
This is
Oh, I
Lulongamida.
love this one. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
Are
I
we live?
forget about all the good songs we have.
I think we're gonna go live. All right. I believe we're live
Maybe
now.
it's 2 day. I hear us. So,
Okay.
what is this?
This is
Oh,
Lulongamida.
I love this one.
Oh, this we're here at an
I
echo of
forget
ourselves.
about all the good
Hold
songs. Yeah,
on.
I'm not sure why.
Hold on.
All right,
We're in a loop.
I hear us.
I know. I gotta kill that. Hold on. Where is it?
Oh, I love this.
Okay. I think we're still live though. I don't think I killed that. Maybe I did. I hope not.
The content of this meeting is being
Oh no,
sent.
we are streaming. Yeah, we're streaming. Okay, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello from the
Yeah, right on. Hey,
city
then
of
I realized people
fire
are
and
actually
angels.
watching. All right, so yeah, so this is on the Static Dive YouTube page. So this is where I normally do live streams and play music, and I don't say anything. But
So
today,
they really don't know me. They are familiar with
no, well,
you.
a couple months ago we did this where we mixed a song with
I'm
you.
acting like whoever's seeing this has never seen me.
Oh yeah, well there you go. It doesn't matter. Nobody's watching this probably anyway, and if they are, then welcome as we have our
Welcome to the House of Static from across the globe.
right
Uh,
on. Yeah, and we should say these are the important things, right? So,
right,
as we always say when we do the House of Static podcast, we used to do, right? I'm in New York and Keela's in LA, and
yes. Well,
obviously that takes on new significance right now, being that
right.
LA, going through a horrible natural disaster catastrophe.
If you're watching this right now, please donate to the relief funds that we will link in the description of this for the people suffering in LA right now. A lot of people are going through hard times. I'm
Mhm.
lucky to be up in Burbank where we only lost power one night.
That's awesome. And there are 1,000 different ways to give. And we'll, like Kilo said, we'll post a couple links. I earlier today donated some money to a charity called Baby to Baby, and
Mhm.
they're getting diapers and food to babies that are
That's
displaced
great.
by the fires. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So,
Yeah, I've given luggage bags away and a bunch of different jackets that I had and just
right,
stuff. I didn't give away just junky stuff. I gave away stuff that, like, if I had nothing, I'd be very happy to have, you
right.
know. So,
Well, and we should note, I mean, again, it's easy for me to say I'm here in New York. I'm 3,000 miles away watching on the news and calling Kilo every day
right,
asking if he's
right.
okay. But Kilo's there, and I mean, and you're not out of danger. I mean, the winds are picking up again right now, and it's going to blow pretty hard for the next couple of days. So
Yeah,
we're
that's
hoping
the
to
scary
continue to
part
blow
because
away from Burbank. That's what we want to blow away from Burbank.
what happens is they didn't turn the power off in certain places and the power lines touched trees and it started fires. So
Oh, I see. Yeah.
hopefully, so if we do lose power, my computer will still work for an hour or two.
Hmm.
And that's actually a good thing because that means they're taking care of the fact that they don't want the power lines to be
Right.
touched and
You
stuff.
would still be disconnected here though, because your internet would go down.
That's right.
Unless you're like unless you're connecting via your cell phone. If you were
I'm
doing
done.
via your cell phone as like a bridge, then you
It's not going to happen, but everybody, like, if you have any means of donating anything, any time you have, or any resources you have, or any money that you have, because everything helps, not just giving money, but giving your time if you're here, or
Mhm.
your bag that you don't use anymore when you travel will do a lot for someone who has nothing,
Right
because
on.
if they get new things they need some way to move it around because it's not like you're just displaced once. If the place you just moved to is
Mhm.
on fire, you have to go other places. So,
Right, exactly.
and I want to say thank you to all the people fighting these fires because it's basically a war against Mother Nature. It's just, it looks like a war. There's helicopters everywhere and people everywhere. There are people from all over the globe coming here to help fight these fires, which I absolutely appreciate because you know me, Bob. I love LA.
I know.
Fucking
As do
my
I. I mean,
heart is in
even though
LA.
I'm in New York and I love New York, but yeah, I love Southern California. I love Los Angeles so much. It is a paradise, and it's in a lot of ways, not just how naturally beautiful it is, but I love the people in Southern California. I mean, obviously, some of my best friends are there. kilos there. My cousin Chris, who fortunately, out of just a bizarre set of circumstances, was in New York.
Well, he should probably
Happened to
stay there
just
for a bit.
right, yeah. But I mean, I have other friends there too that are that and it doesn't matter if they're my friends. There are millions of people there that are not only. I was just thinking about this earlier. Let me turn my voice down here. My singing here. We'll do one of the
I
instrumentals.
don't think Christmas is
Well, yeah,
something that's
yeah, we got.
good for talking about this.
There we go. And no more.
Uh,
How about
there
that?
we go. Perfect.
All right. In any case, what I was saying is that I was talking to my girlfriend about this today and how there are hundreds of thousands of people that are directly impacted already and they're displaced, they're evacuated from their homes. Many have lost their homes. So many have we don't know, nobody even knows how many people have died yet, and there are so many people in the hospital from injuries and smoke inhalation and everything else. So it's been horrifying for hundreds of thousands of directly impacted people. And then on top of that, there's an emotional burden and
Correct.
emotional weight on millions in Los Angeles County, and really, honestly, hundreds of
The
millions in
world.
America and around the world. I mean, all of this, like, this is such a huge, just punch to the whole. I think the whole world. I mean, I'm feeling it all the time, every day, and I'm 3,000 miles away.
Right.
And it's terrifying. It's awful.
Yeah. It is, but it is also Mother Nature.
Well, that's the thing. We don't. There are some. That's the people are going to fight for years about whose fault it was that it got so bad and everything else. The truth is that this was. I mean, eh, some things humans can't win. Sometimes Mother Nature is just stronger than we are. How
They
could
are
we?
win. They
Yeah.
are
How?
winning as much as they can, though.
Right. Oh, yeah. They're doing a great job. Absolutely. But sometimes you can't say things like how could we have prevented this hurricane? You know what I mean? Like, how could we have prevented this? I mean, the prevention is decades ago, and we missed the boat. So now climate change is here, and this is what we're.
I
It's
mean,
awful. Just awful.
and two things. One good thing is that this is something you can't fight a hurricane, right? Like a hurricane, you can't do things to prevent certain things from happening, but with fire, you
Hmm.
can. Because
Sure.
the
Yeah.
other night, I went up on in my kind of my safe place, my parking garage roof, and my cutlass, and I sat there. And as I'm looking, there's a fire coming over a hill. I looked over towards Malibu, and that's where the sun sets usually, but it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I see just orange starting to come. Saw it start to come over, but they, what they had done is they left like the stuff that's fire retardant or whatever
Hmm.
along the whole ridge, and it stopped it there so they could fight it back over the other side. So why I'm saying that is it's good that at least there are things that people can do
Oh,
and
yeah.
are doing
And are
actively
doing. Yeah.
fighting
Oh.
it, losing their lives,
Oh my God, yeah,
losing
staying
their health.
awake for days at a time, and people from all around the world now are coming. Firefighters are coming from around the world to help fight it. I mean, it's
And
amazing.
they need resources too. See, we
Exactly.
mentioned the people being dispersed, but the firefighters, we
Hmm.
just, my side of hospitality just brought a bunch of stuff like protein bars and water, like
Right.
to donate to the firefighters so that because they have to stay up for days fighting
Exactly.
for us, right?
And yeah, and I wasn't trying to imply that they can't win. That's not what I was saying. I mean, they can, they're going to win
Oh,
ultimately,
right.
right? But what I was saying is that like the kind of the idea that we could like fight about what caused it, what could have prevented it, a million
Right.
things. And if you're gonna try to, you're gonna blame it on one thing, you're gonna miss the boat. You know what I mean?
Well,
This
what
is,
I'm saying
you
is
know,
that with a hurricane, there's nothing
there's
humanity
nothing.
can do to stop it.
Right.
But
That's true.
luckily, if people are coming from around the world to do this, like they didn't have to, right? It's not their home
I
that they're
know.
losing. They're
South
coming.
Mexico, Mexico, and Canada, all these different firefighters from all around the world, literally around the world, are coming to help. That's amazing.
So when it shows humanity has your back, really.
That's
Like,
right.
yeah, there's always a bad apple in the bunch, but like it shows me that humanity actually cares about each other. Or they could have just stayed home. They weren't like responsible for the fire, so
Yeah,
And it's not their home or their wonderful LA that they are saving. They came because they care about us.
that's right.
So,
That's amazing.
you know,
Yeah, they
you
just
have to
care about
see,
humanity. And like I said, it doesn't even matter if it doesn't have to be somebody you know, you have friends there or whatever. I mean, just we're all humans. We're all one. We're all literally everything is everything, right? I mean,
you have to see
we're all
the
riding the
the
same boat here,
beauty
you
in
know?
the chaos and see that this shows that there are people out there that fucking care,
That's
right?
right. Right.
They
Yeah.
care that
Beauty
my
in
home,
chaos is always love. You know what I mean? That's
right?
really ultimately what it is. And
And
that's awesome.
humanity, really. It
Right.
always
Exactly.
boils down to humanity.
Yep.
And that's
Right.
what I like when things happen, when others will just give their lives, their hearts, everything towards saving people they've never even met. Dogs they don't even know.
Yep.
Cats, I mean, they're rescuing animals from fucking houses. They're, are
Yeah,
amazing
yeah.
stories
Sarah was
like
telling me that there were people like firefighters walking with like owls and foxes and everything like they were carrying out, and the animals were running to them for help.
that's amazing.
Not yeah, that's
Amazing.
amazing. Wild animals going, please help me,
Yep.
and the firefighters doing it. It's so
And
many
that's why
amazing.
humans are awesome.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
fucked up
100%, man.
sometimes, but guess what? There
Mm-hmm.
are people that are saving owls,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, right? Foxes. I could see a fox running up to someone. An owl, I don't know, they're terrifying. They're little
Well,
bitty
I
chicken
think
looking.
what makes what he makes humans awesome, really, is that ultimately every human is capable of that, given the right circumstances and growing, from the right environment, whatever. I mean, we are beautiful because we are that, it's that people fall astray from that, but that unconditional love that for another living thing, that's what we are, I think, at our
Right.
core. Not
And
to get too sappy
I
about it.
mean, you don't see the heart of people until they're put under pressure,
Hmm.
right? Humanity, when put under pressure, becomes a diamond. Really, a lot of
Right.
us do.
Yeah, nice. I
Well,
like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's the
That's a
truth,
good analogy.
right?
Hmm.
Because, like, in everyday life, maybe those people have their own stresses, they have their own burdens, they have, I mean, problems. But when shit hits the fan,
Hmm.
what's going to happen? Those people are going to step up and say, well, this is what I'm capable of. Even if all you can do is say a prayer or light a incense or whatever, wherever you're at. I mean, I'm, obviously the cripple man. I mean, shit. I mean, the unwalkable man here. But um, it does help to do whatever to show that you care, you know.
Right on, man. It's awesome.
I didn't know I would be sitting here today in this circumstance, and it really did just come out of nowhere. Like I was driving one day, and I knew there were high winds. I saw a sign from a light pole like fly across the road. That was fine. Then I look in the distance, and I'm like, oh look, all the smog has blown away.
It was like what, Monday or Tuesday? I don't remember. I think it
Tuesday,
was
Tuesday
Tuesday.
at
Right. Yeah,
10:30,
Tuesday. Yeah.
10:34.
Yeah, I remember getting like, again, I'm in New York and I'm just kind of doing my thing and it's a Tuesday and I'm doing my business and meetings and everything that I'm in. And then I kind of like pay attention to the news in the afternoon. I was like, what the hell? And I was like,
Right,
holy shit. When did that happen? Because like,
right.
yeah, I mean, you and I were talking like the night before, like, hey, nothing's going on. And and then LA's on fire and
I know. And it's
terrifying.
not
It's been
just LA.
terrifying
The
ever since.
Hollywood Hills were on fire, which are right
I
by
know.
me. Then
Yeah.
no, Universal City had a fire that they immediately got out. Like I
Yeah.
went to drive to see that fire and it was gone. So that's good. And then there was
Uh,
one, what's the other one over in Pasadena? So basically, I don't know how the fires are now, but I had five different fires around me,
I
right?
know.
Like basically, it was like, which one are you going to run away from if you have to evacuate?
Yep.
Like
That,
literally, me and my
I think
neighbor were talking about that.
all right. I think people don't realize people that don't aren't familiar with Los Angeles and Southern California and LA County really don't realize that like LA, what most people think of LA, right? Well, it'll be different things depending on what you think of LA, right? If you think of Hollywood, well, that's one. They're all different cities in LA County, and they're all and it's huge. It's very broad and widespread. So it's like New York's got its five boroughs, and might even have more people, but they're all packed into five smaller
Right.
boroughs. But they're very much the same thing. It's five, really, five cities that are just kind of connected to one another, and they're
Hmm.
all one. And when people think of New York City, they really think of Manhattan, but there's also Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, Queens. You know, I mean, LA's got sprawling cities, and it's just that's why those maps are so well terrifying. Because you've got, I mean, it's really these major
It's
fires like
everywhere.
five major cities. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we're and
Yeah.
and they're creeping over into one another. It's
Hmm.
awful.
I mean, yeah, when I can see it coming over the hill, glowing like the sun at night, that was a crazy experience because it was right where I would view the sunset.
Yep.
I watched the sunset over the fire last night with the smoke going with the wind, like as the sun goes down, which is
Right.
the most beautifully terrifying thing I've ever seen.
Right.
But they are fighting it. I appreciate them immensely. I hope that they stay safe and don't give their lives for me.
Yep.
But in general, like they're the heroes of the story.
Oh, absolutely. And it's and I just think I think, like I said, they're definitely the heroes of the story. And I think the people of Los Angeles County, all of them, especially and including yourself and the people like you who are still there and safe, but just as worried as you were a week ago. You know what I mean?
A
Like
week, yes.
less than a week ago, 5, 6 days ago, whatever, when it started. But you got the kilos in Burbank, and Burbank has been safe through all of this. But
So far,
Burbank is like North Hollywood, and North Hollywood is just over there
right.
from the rest, Hollywood
I
Hills that
mean,
are
it
just on
basically
fire.
is North Hollywood. Like there
Right.
are like one street you leave. It's very strange. Like you go a few miles, it's Universal City. You go another few miles, it's Hollywood. I mean, it's all right here, dude. And it's
Exactly. And that's
fire
why when Keela
burns
says
quick.
when you hear the Hollywood Hills are on fire, and that's when Keela says he looks out his balcony and sees a glow over the hill. That's what he's talking about. It's the Hollywood Hills are on fire. It's
Right.
terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying.
Terrifying
And
and
just
beautiful to
heartbreaking.
see humanity's efforts for other people they'll never know the name of.
Right.
Yet they're they're rescuing people that they will never maybe even know their name.
Yeah.
But because they're another human, they're gonna risk their life because they know how to save them.
Yeah,
And
I
it's like,
watched I watched a guy on CNN today talking about he's a firefighter who had to watch his own house burn down, and he's like, watching other people's houses burn. He's saving other people's houses. He's saving people from burning houses, and he said all of that has all these emotions tied to it that are huge to him and like life affirming. He said, but the watching his own house burn was a completely separate and life altering
I'm
experience,
sure
and it was just heartbreaking. It was a heartbreaking story. He's like all day long dealing with the heartbreak of others, and then having to deal with his own in the middle of all of it. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, by the way, your house just burned. It's just terrifying.
It is very sad and heartbreaking, but also it is you have to realize that hope is not lost. You are not dead. So there's always room to rebuild your memories. Though it sucks and it sucks for everyone, it's a new beginning. Every end is a beginning. So these people, if anyone out there is listening that their house has burned, I feel for you, but you can choose to have a new lot on life because you don't have those things tied to those memories and you have a life. So you can make the new
Right.
memory.
And I'll remind everybody, if anybody is watching and thinks that Kilo is being overly optimistic or sunshiny or
I'm
whatever,
not being optimistic.
he's there, he's in LA
Right.
now, and it's a real thing. So it's something he's contemplating
Yeah.
himself about his own life.
And what's interesting is you realize what matters to you when you grab your shit and evacuate because they on mistake
You've
evacuate.
had to do a couple of times
They
now.
on mistake have said to Burbank on our phones, everyone's phone. So I'm hearing down the hall phones ringing, like going
Hmm.
off. My phone, I'm like, okay, it really puts in perspective what you care about, right? Which is my dog,
Hmm.
obviously, my laptop, because that's where my music and my career is. But like, I realized all these things I think I love and care about the line picture up there, the line picture back there,
Sure,
all the
yeah.
things that are me, they don't matter to me because I wasn't like, oh fuck, I better grab them so they don't burn.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I know what you mean. I mean, look, I mean, you can see, look at my crazy existence. I mean,
right.
surrounded by little trinkets and things that I like and things that I made and things that people I love made. You know what I mean? And it's all important to me. But this isn't, it would be hard. It would be devastating to lose it all. I'm not going to say it wouldn't be. It would be absolutely devastating. But to your point, afterwards, I'd have to get up and live. You know what I mean? And it's a terrifying thought that I don't want to wish on anyone. So I'm not even going there. But I'm
Oh,
like,
I'm
again,
not saying I wish it on
I'm way over
anybody.
here in New York. Kilo is contemplating thoughts about his own real life that is going on right now, and I think that that's an
I
important.
really did think that all my stuff was gonna burn because
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. You expected that. That was actually something
once
that was
that
going to
immediate
happen.
evacuation thing goes off, which was a mistake because it was Burbank Avenue and it's an automated system. I'm not blaming anybody. It just automatically thought Burbank Avenue, that's Burbank. So
Right.
that's like Burbank Avenue huge.
Well, there were other false alarms too. I think that went across the whole city, and like
That's
I've my
originally, immediately.
yeah, yeah, like my buddy, I got a buddy Tony that lives in L.A. proper. I think he lives right. If he was in right in the Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, and he got some false alarms as well when he was
Yeah.
so it's crazy
Let's
stuff.
talk
I
about
think they
some
don't even know how it
optimism.
happened either. Yeah, oh yeah.
Op-
So the actual reason we were
Optimism now,
optimism. There
though.
you go.
Let's
So the
talk
whole
about some optimism. We'll be at the Grammys this year, so
right
we'll be
on.
hanging out there when the Grammys go on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we'll be at what's it called? NAM. That's
Right
cool.
on.
One half of us will
Yeah,
be at
you'll be at
NAM.
NAM. Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be at NAM. So we
But
do
we'll
have,
be going to the Grammys together.
yeah, if we don't burn
Well,
down.
I
But
mean, I think it's realistic to expect the Grammys might be rescheduled. Maybe they won't be February
well,
2nd.
NAM wasn't rescheduled because of where it's located,
But it's in
right?
Anaheim, right? Yeah, so
Right.
it's a bit
So,
further out of town there. So
but
we'll see.
life moves on. You have to.
There you go.
I've
Exactly.
been through a lot in my life. Bob's been through a lot in his life. Humanity goes through a lot. But
Every
what's
day.
amazing about humanity and animals is we're resilient, right?
Yeah.
Whatever goes on, we still have to think about the things we love, which is for us, music, for you might be food, whatever it is, what you really care about and what you want to be doing with your life. Do it now because your house could burn down tomorrow. I'm not
Right.
saying you wish that could happen, but like
Right.
realize I who said it? James Dean said like live as if you'll dream as if you live forever, live as if you died today.
Right. Well, there you go. That makes sense.
So
And so there you go. So, but you wanted to talk about optimistic things, so that's what we got at the Grammys. But we'll say uh those things, and then the actual reason we were going to get together here is because I have
right.
I did a remix. So anybody if anybody knows or cares, right? So the last year or two,
Big
right?
can.
Over the last year and a half, I've released two. Well, I've released a bunch of music, but two of the things I released were two EPs: the Blue
Hmm.
Light Sessions Volume One, and I just released Blue Light Sessions Volume Two, and they're my
Right.
little Latin jazz excursions, experiments, and loungy kind of fun grooves, all
Yeah,
instrumental. I love it, and
it's really great.
you're looking at the band. I mean, everything I play on the album is in
Right.
this room here. There's the
It
bass, there's
sounds
the
like it's a
congas.
band, but it
Yeah.
really is this one man
All
right
me.
here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, those I like the second. I got the congas after session after volume one. So that's and then Sarah, my partner, bought me the congas, and I got
And
better
you
at the
have my cowbell from
and I got your
ever since I
cowbell,
was
and
a
I got good
drummer,
at it.
bro.
Yeah, right. And I practiced my ass off on percussion for a few months, and then I made volume two, and I play congas and percussion, all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
and claves.
amazing.
It's a lot better. I mean, really, it's just better than volume one. So I took my favorite. So we've already remixed one of the songs from volume one. So I took
But
really, yeah, we remixed Coolahan Bossa already.
yeah, oh, I love
We
my.
did a cut. Yeah, we did two
I
different
listen to
remixes
that
of it.
all the time.
Right. So now we're going to talk about, we talked way back months ago about, it's cool actually. I was going through old notes and like everything that we've done over the last few months is pretty much to plan. We kind of loosely noted some plans like a
For
year
sure.
ago and kind of followed that, but your music and mine, which is really cool.
Well, I
Yeah.
want it. Yeah. Go
Right.
ahead.
So, and part of that plan was to do after the volume two came out, another remix or two, and do like an EP. What we did before was we did an EP of the Cool Hand Bossa. I did a remix, Keela did a remix, and then we did the original, and then the original demo, which was just me playing guitar. So,
Mhm.
and we'll probably do something similar to that. So my
Yeah.
step, the first step of that is me doing my remix, and then Keela
Right.
does his remix
Because
from my remix. Yeah.
I know, right? So the way we do remixes or even certain songs that have come out is like he remixed his own song and I remixed his remix.
Yeah.
If
And
that
part of the
makes sense.
reason for that is that my originals often are very slow, right? They're very
Right.
slow tempo. And so
Mhm.
we speed them up. So I'll remix mine a little faster tempo than the original. And
Right.
Akila will take it from there and usually speed it up a little bit more and make it more like he does
The
his
one I
precision.
just did with that last one is grungy as fuck, bro. Every time I hear it, the distortion on that main guitar sound just sounds lit as fuck. I
That's
want to
awesome.
also say that not even a week, this Friday, one of my favorite songs I've ever made comes out called "Demons Come," and it's just kind of really interesting that I wrote it in a major key, right? Because it's funk music.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's cool too.
but SXR Lucifer, we're actually listening to me right now.
Right
It's
on.
one of my most streamed songs called Heli Chocha. So, yeah, don't miss that if you don't listen to me or if you are afraid of the name Lucifer. Like, just give it a chance, listen to it. It's fun music that comes from my heart. So.
Right on, man.
And
That's
this
what it's
new
all
one
about.
release is really epic because it's leading up to my big thing, which is I'm going to do an album called The Morning Star Effect, an EP, two songs. That's kind of something I'm passionate about. It talks about, it has the themes of gun violence, and then the second song is like choosing what you want to do with your life. Because some people don't realize they have choices that,
Um,
that I'm gonna say one passionate thing right now. Well, my most passionate song is playing. Well, this is a guy talking in Ukrainian about the war, right? This is from a real war thing. But people don't realize they do have a chance to choose how they want to live their lives. So that's the encompassing of the Morning Star Effect. But I want to gain a little bit more traction because I really do think that this will speak volumes to the world. And Bob is actively on all of it, right?
Sure, yeah. Well, we do all
Because
our
you wrote
stuff
it
together, yeah.
with me. But the first song
Mhm.
I've had done for what, a year, and I've been refusing to put it out because I don't want to put that negativity in the world. It's called Moon Pie. That's what it's called.
Yeah, see, but you always seem to interpret your stuff differently than I do, as far as like whether it's positive, negative, light or dark.
Right.
You always call what I think is your happy music. You'll say that's dark, and then you always say the darkest stuff is like that's the stuff that makes you feel good. It's really
Right.
funny.
Right.
It's just that
Well,
Prince of Darkness is your feel good. That's a song that
right.
makes it pumps you up, and then like the what's the one, the Adele thing, the Adele song, the one that like the Blink
Oh,
182 Adele
oh,
thing that you
right,
did.
right, right.
That's
I don't
just
know even what.
gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. And you always call that like your dark breakup song. And it's like, it's so funny. It's just funny
Right.
how art is interpreted so differently by different people, including the creator of the
Oh,
art.
right. Me and Bob really recently found out that I interpret my songs after I write them. I never realized
Right. Yeah.
that I write the songs in a flow state and then I kind of just give a fucking meaning to it. I don't
Right.
sit there and try to make these songs. I write them and then I go, well, now what does this mean to me? And I never realized that. So I'm
Well,
as
that's
much
kind of
a
where,
listen.
like, that I agree. And so that's kind of where when you say things like that's a really dark song, and it's just not, right? It doesn't sound dark to anybody else but you. It's because that's where you were that's where your head was when you wrote it. So it's
Right.
dark to you because it brings you there. But it didn't
Right.
bring anybody else there because it sounds really pretty to everybody else. But to you, you were in this dark place and made this beautiful music. And every time you hear it, it brings you back to the dark place.
I
It's
mean,
very
it's
interesting.
just like the diamond and the pressure, bro. Humanity, that's a reoccurring theme, right?
Mhm.
like you just said, Adele, if she hadn't gone through her major breakup, the album 21 or whatever wouldn't have been
That's
a,
true.
a mind-blowing album. She basically locked herself in the studio after that to finish it because she was like, fuck this, right? Like
Yeah.
stuff
And it's a good
honestly,
example too, because her first, what was her first album was 19 or 18 or whatever
right,
it was,
right,
right? It was her age at the time. And that one probably, if she goes and listens to that now, probably brings her to a dark place because it's very, there's all the breakups and all that stuff. And we just hear it as a beautiful, that's just beautiful. I mean, she's gorgeous fucking
right.
singer, one of the best singers
She's
of all time.
gorgeous and has a
Oh,
gorgeous voice
absolutely.
and a
All the
gorgeous
above. Yeah.
personality.
She's
So,
fantastic. I love
but
Adele.
she
Yeah.
got that way through pressure, just
Hmm.
like I get my way through pressure.
Right. Like
Bob
there's your
didn't
diamond, there's
now.
your diamond analogy again,
Bob
right?
already had his pressure. Now he is the diamond.
Oh man,
But
I don't know about
I
that.
mean,
I've had plenty of pressure, that's for sure. I don't know about being a
we
diamond.
all do, Bob. We
But
all
yeah,
do.
Adele's no she's no prima donna. She was a rough, tough girl from middle class, lower middle class, working class neighborhood,
Yep.
and just knew how to sing her ass off. It's awesome,
Yep.
Gaining
All right.
money too.
So we're listening to one of me and
Uh,
your remixes of
That's
one of
right. Yeah,
your
your
songs.
remix of my very really the first. It was the first instrumental single as the Static Dive, and instrumentals is really kind of where
Yeah.
I live. I mean, even though I write lyrics and I have songs with lyrics. I don't really write lyrics anymore. I don't really want to. It's not something I'm interested in. And
It's almost like when you write lyrics, you're giving your interpretation of the song,
I
right?
guess I suppose so. I mean, what I always when I was avidly writing lyrics, and I wrote like I mean, so people understand, I wrote hundreds of lyrics. I mean, I wrote hundreds of songs with
Yeah.
lyrics that I've released. I've got albums as Bob Smith with tons, like I got like a dozen albums out there as either Shoe, The Distractions, Bob Smith, or The Static Dive that all have singing on them. So I wrote lots and lots of lyrics, but none of them are happy. I didn't have any. I just had like shit. I had like shit I had to work out all the time, mostly because I drank too much or something, or I was unhappily married or whatever. But now I don't. Now I'm very happy in pretty much really all aspects of my life. Not pretty much, definitely all aspects of my life. I have a
Definitely.
great, beautiful relationship. I got great friendships. I've got a creative, life going on with my buddy
You have
Keelan.
a record label for
Got a
fuck's sake.
record label. We're putting music out and people actually listen to it. It's just really cool. And we have all kinds of things coming up, working on movie projects and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, things are great. And I don't have anything to write about. I'm just, I mean, I have music to write. I'm enjoying making music, but I don't have any words. I don't have any demons to, what do you call it? What do you call it when you exercise? I don't
Exercise.
have demons to exercise anymore. I
See,
don't drink
I
anymore. I
never
don't smoke.
exercise,
I
but
don't
my
do
demons exercise so much I'm skinny.
right there. There you go. Very nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, and that's fun too because we were talking about our new music and your newest song is the Demons Come song. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, after I listened to it and I interpreted it, it's just about the normality that demons come and demons go, right?
Right.
The idea that things will happen and then things will stop. And really, why I know that is because good times come and go, right? You can
Right.
have the highest highs of your life, but eventually that's going to fade as well. So when you think about it with demons, not demons, but like your personal demons, they do come, but they also do go away. Everything has a beginning and an end.
Mhm.
So, anyway,
Right
that's
on, man.
about that, right?
Right on. Hey, boom. I'm with you, brother.
Whatever, yeah, this thing and
The,
everything,
the genuflect. I'm Catholic. You're not Catholic. There you
not
go.
at all. Right. Hell,
Anyway,
whatever. Okay.
but so all of that was ultimately saying that we originally got together here so that we could at least
Yeah,
look at my tracks here for the uh,
we could
the, the
even
new
do more
remix of
than look
STV.
at it.
Or
Yeah.
listen, well, we're gonna listen to, and maybe it's already done. Let's see what it sounds like. I'm gonna
Can
stop
you tell
sharing.
me what tempo it's at, by the way?
120 beats per minute. I did in the email actually, but
Okay, sorry.
that's okay. But I just gave up. Let's see. I gave up the sharing, and you should be able to share.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna open Ableton. I had to close it because the window was like frozen. How are you doing though, Bob?
Me, good. Just busy. I have a busy work week coming up and, a lot of things going on. So, well, and I
That's
say
good.
work week, I do like IT consulting aside from the music business. So,
Yes.
and it's been and I've got a lot of it to do right now. So I've got
Apparently, I probably did read the email because it is at 120, so I'm
I think 120 is usually the default anyway.
not as dumb as I think.
Right,
Okay.
brought it up to 120. The original was like 110 or 111 beats per minute or something like that. I sped it up a little bit because I wanted it to be more like Blue Light Volume 2. And I realized
Right.
after the accidentally afterwards, I had made the entire Blue Light Volume 2 record at 120 beats per minute.
Not on purpose, but just because that's where his soul is. And when I say not on purpose, it's because
Hmm.
he actually writes parts with guitars and
Yeah.
real drums and stuff. So it's not like he just did what
No,
I
it's
kind of
not
do.
like I
He
just
set
grabbed,
the
I had a
tempo.
folder of 120 beat loops or something like that. No,
Right.
yeah, it was just that was the tempo I was playing at. And I think there's one. I think one of them might not be, but other than that, like most of the songs on the record are 120 beats per minute exactly. So my
All right.
remix,
So let,
so I sped
sorry,
this up
go
to
ahead.
120 beats per minute is what I did.
Perfect, perfect. So let's tell them kind of our process, right? In case anybody that's watching this knows anything about production, wonders anything. What we do
Sure.
is
Yeah.
because we have a kind of a sound that we've
Hmm.
been curating
Yeah.
since volume one of the Blue Light.
Right
That's
on.
the song "Welcome to the Blue Light" is where this sound and concept started to become curated. Correct?
That yeah, that's fair. Yep, definitely. And
Well, where do you think? I mean, you
I
go
just
ahead and
said,
talk
yeah,
about it
I
while
think
I
you're right.
share.
Well, I mean, I think it was born earlier than that with the King Matt Black stuff, but I think
Sure.
but definitely Welcome to Blue Light, the entire intent of the song was was that that imaginary jazz club.
That's
And
what I'm talking about. See,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
So
think we did
I
that
came
in
up with
King
the idea
Matt Black.
for that song, and then after the song was done, I was like, I should do more of those because that's
Right.
cool, and then kind of stayed in that world for two records. So, oh, I was gonna share again for a minute,
Oh, for sure. Hold on.
well, to show because you wanted to see the process. So I was gonna show my Pro Tools
Let's
stuff.
start on that end of the process.
Right,
Perfect.
right, right, right. So there you go. So I'll share my screen. This
So,
only
rule of thumb, starting off what Bob has taught me and I kind of have adopted is start with a good signal, right? Start with a good audio and then mixing, mastering, all of that is
right.
icing on the cake of a good. You explain it, Bob. That's
Yeah.
really the start of everything.
Or that just really it. Exactly. Just start with a good sound. You know what I mean? With me, I'm doing all live instruments. Even the stuff that's MIDI is me playing keyboards to like MIDI sounds and then say and then ultimately turn it into audio. Everything is a live track and perform that way. And so the key is to always start with a good sound. So and with mine, because I'm using live instruments like guitars and the conga drums and the bass guitar and everything, is to first make sure they sound good. So tuning up the congas and stuff becomes really important. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And it is important, even though they're not playing, they're playing notes, but you're not tuning it to the music, but you're making sure that it's tuned to itself. So it's not resonant. It doesn't have a ring to it that you don't want. And then you kind of have the two drums in tune with one another where they're like, I've read, make them like fourths or fifths from one another. So they kind of make sense to one another,
Mm-hmm.
melodically. But anyway, that's a tangent. But the point is
I
like
don't know. It's
little,
not a tangent. That's why
yeah.
anyone would want to hear this.
Exactly. That's the point of it, right? Is to be that considerate about each instrument and get the
Mhm.
right sound on each one. I'm doing when or which instrument to play. So I have like
Right.
a bunch of guitars, and if I'm doing a jazz song, I get that one because it's a hollow body jazz guitar and it
Right.
sounds you just plug that into the Fender amp with no
Right.
effects or anything and just put a mic on it and it sounds like you're in a freaking jazz club because it's just a beautiful sound. So
Yeah.
so that in that case, right, the key to getting a good sound is to do very little. Just have a good mic and stick it on the amp. Have good guitar,
Right.
good mic, good amp. And it's as simple as that.
Yep.
And so that's each track is like that. Each track is like if I'm playing, I got Keela mentioned his
You were
cowbell.
going to share again, did you already?
I am sharing, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah, I'm showing this track. So like Keela mentioned his cowbell, for instance, when I play, that is just, even that, like I'm considerate of the room sound because I record everything in this room. So
Mhm.
essentially this room is the Blue Light Jazz Club, right? It's
Right.
got there's the walls in this room and the dead walls and the echo walls that are intentional. All that stuff is
Right.
like
It's
that's the
where you
sound of the
place
club.
things as well, right? Like
Exactly. Yeah,
if
yeah.
you stand in the middle of the room recording a cowbell with a microphone right where we are, it'll be different than if you put it in the corner and you record it from there. It makes a very different impact because the reverberations of the room to where the mic is placed.
Right,
Not
right.
not that you have to overthink it that hard. If you get a good sound is a good sound, but also being considerate of how you record things.
Right.
It's
That's
not
the
a,
way to do it.
you don't
Exactly.
have to have a multi-million dollar studio to
Yeah.
make a multi-million dollar sounding album. It's
Right.
just being as considerate as you would be if you were in a multi-million dollar studio.
Right. I'm not doing math to figure out the best place to record this cowbell in the room. I'm not doing anything like
Right.
that. I'm turning the mic on and I'm hitting clunk, 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 and I'm seeing what it sounds like. And it sounds good. It's staying that way. But if it doesn't sound good, that's when I go, okay, what if I step back here? What if I spun the mic around? What if
Right.
I was sitting? What if I was standing? Whatever. What if I
But
put
if I'm
some
upside
tape?
down now, I'm
Yeah, what if I mute the cowbell with a little tape or something?
right.
Shit like that is what makes all the difference?
Right.
So I just do
It
that with each
absolutely
track.
is.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I do that with each track. And then by the time Kilo gets it, he gets this. So in this case was like probably about a dozen tracks here.
Yeah, I
All
see. Yeah.
right, and and when I do it, I dump it. So this you can see the name of this session. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called Este Vida Reincarnation Dump. Right. So my original session, I can open that up. Why not?
Yeah.
My original session doesn't look like as clean as that because
Right.
it's got. Let's see. I'll open. Let's see. Open session. Da, da, da. Let's see. Stavita reincarnation. I guess this one is probably the not. Yeah. When they say dump, it means. Well, I'll show you. It means I finalized each track, and that's why everything looked like even. Because then I export them, and they're
Right.
all in sync with
Right.
everything. And then Kilo gets these 13 wave files that are all he's got to
Yeah.
do is import them, and they're all in time with none and
That's the
everything else.
easiest way to do it because I use Ableton. He uses Pro
I
Tools.
use Pro
We're
Tools.
across the United States,
Right.
yet it's as if he just is here and we're working on it because you can pull the audio in and then you can go from there. Don't bounce it down with a master on it. If you had a whole
Right.
master chain on yours
Right.
and then we put it into mine, it's just going to blow the speakers out.
That's
But
right. That's a good point. I do that. So like when I like lots of times in this mix that we're gonna look at, right? This one we're looking at now. I always do this like when I do a rough mix, I'll put it up on SoundCloud for a few days just to see if
yeah.
it reacts and stuff, and just because I like to. Yeah, like it's an easy way for me to listen to it. And
Mhm.
so anyway, so I did that. When I do that, I have a master chain on it, which is a real simple, just kind of a limiter and an EQ that just kind of makes it sound a little bit better than my original mix. But when I
Right.
give it to Kilo, I mute those two things so that I dump the tracks without being on the master chain because I want
Right.
his master chain, not mine. That's the point. So anyway, this is what it looks like when I originally do it, and you can see like a lot of that's MIDI, right? But it's not programmed MIDI. It's me playing the keyboards and drums live, and then but it just being interpreted as MIDI so that then I can just go and change the sounds and that kind of thing as I want. So like
Right.
the drums and everything. But I actually play all of that live. Everything's live, the hi-hats, everything. And the key of it, right? The way you can tell is by looking at the velocity. See the volumes are all over the place.
Absolutely.
That's because that's how humans play. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you did that if I
It's that,
programmed
yeah.
it, it would be straight lines. It would just be like that's the volume of the hi-hat. You know what I mean? But that's
Right.
not what we want. So
And
anyway,
let's say you don't have any hands to play it. There are ways in Ableton to set natural velocities,
sure, yeah, you can
randomizing the
humanize things.
velocities.
Right.
That's another really good technique to make a human like it is to make it sound like a human played it rather than a
Right.
robot.
Yeah. Here's another example, by the way, the organ. You can see the velocities down at the bottom here. The
Oh
buttons are
God,
all
yeah.
over the place. That's me playing chords on the organ and playing the bass notes. So the heavy hit ones are probably bass notes. I'm probably going boom and then So
Hmm.
anyway, so
So we can,
that's how that works.
if
So
we go over to mine, I'll mute all the master and anything I've done and just show them what it is that you bounced down.
oh yeah, well or we could you can play the yeah we could do that. That's
I
fine.
don't think
So
we
anyway,
can play it from Pro Tools, right?
Pro Tools is funny with sound every time we try to do this. I'm not going to try to do it now. But
No, we're
anyway,
not.
so here's all the hand percussion stuff that I record live. So that's not
Mhm.
MIDI. You got your congas, you got your claves, you got your fish. That's the
And if
thing.
you notice, he has a right and a left on the congas because he has
Yeah,
two microphones. So
yeah.
it's
I use
recording
two
both of
condenser mic.
them as a spread thing, whereas like the clave is like a is a
It's just it's a
mono.
two wooden sticks that I'm just click,
Right.
click, click, click. So that's just mono. Yeah. So, but the eggs are the same thing. I've got shaker eggs. So I've got these two condenser mics. This is one of them. And I put them use them as overheads for the congas. So when I do the eggs, I do the same thing because I've got one egg in each hand. So it's going like this, left, right, left, right. So
Yeah.
it just kind of makes, again, it's like doing that up front gives the option to keep it, or you can get rid of it. We could just cut that to mono, just take one track, right? But it also eliminates, if we like that, it eliminates the need to use effects or plugins or anything else to get that effect. Like I
Right.
don't have to do anything to make it sound like my I've got stereo separation on my percussion and a three-dimensional sound, because I already do because that's how I recorded it, and that's cool. That's
And let's just
nice.
state the fact that it sounds like we're so robotic, and when we write music, it's all robotic, but really, Bob has told me when he's writing these songs that it's really just what's the next note. He's not thinking about the whole piece. He's thinking about what note am I playing right now.
I didn't know what you meant by robotic at first. Oh, I
No,
see what you're
no.
saying. You mean
But
that
we
like when
sound
you're
so methodical about it.
right,
You see, this is spread and that's mono and
right,
methodical,
right, yeah,
methodical.
yeah.
When creative people
Mhm.
have to be that way somewhat, but we aren't like that. This is
Yeah,
just that we're pointing out about what we do because we like the sound, but really when you're writing music or even mixing music, it is a passion of what's the note I'm on now. Bob
right.
has transformed his sound by that theory alone.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's that whole the kind of Zen idea of it that like because I overcome most things in my life this way because I'm kind of naturally anxious and worry about things. So instead of doing
Mhm.
that, I retreat, and I would do that with playing. So like I realized that like I was writing song I write I mean I'm 99% of the time I'm playing things that I wrote, which means that
Right,
I already know it. So why am I messing it up? I wrote it. I'm the authority on this song. There's
right,
nobody better at it than me. I wrote it. So what the heck am I doing screwing it up? And I realized the only reason I'm screwing up is because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm thinking about what I'm about to do. I'm
right.
thinking about the next note. So instead of thinking at all, I just
Mhm.
while I was this is actually when I was playing the bass, I think on it was Casa de Luz. When I was doing the recording of the bass on Casa de Luz, the second song on Volume Two, the Blue Light Volume Two, and I was messing it up. And if you listen to it, it's not a hard bass line. It's funky because it's like it just kind of hits at cool times, and I hold on certain notes that you wouldn't expect me to hold on. It's cool, right? But it's not hard to play. It's just cool, and you got to remember, you got to pay attention while you're playing it. And so anyway, I got to that point. I kept screwing it up. Like this is dumb. This is like a four chord song. It's so simple. Why am I messing it up? And I wrote it, And I said, instead, I'm gonna just tell myself. I'm just gonna say. I'm not even tell myself anything. I'm gonna say the note that I'm playing every time I play it. That's it. I'm not going to think about anything else. I'm just going to play and I'm going to say the name of the note I'm playing. And I realized that that's all I had to do because,
Right,
again, I wrote the song. I didn't have to remember it. I didn't have to teach myself the song.
right.
I didn't have to learn it. I already knew it. So I just said A, G, B, A, G. You know what I mean? And that's it. And I nailed it. One take, boom. It was awesome.
Mhm.
So, yeah, that's that sort of mentality that Keela's talking about. That, like, pay attention to the note that I'm playing. That's what I
Right.
like.
Yeah. And
So,
I've heard a difference in the way his music sounds when he does that. It
well, thank you.
sounds much less rigid and much more like a band. That was part of the transition that made you sound like a band,
Yeah, I
confuse
agree.
my head and make me think, wait, this is a bunch of people,
Yeah.
not one dude. So
And that's still one of my favorite songs. I think that was a
which
great
one? Casa de
everything.
Luz?
Yeah, Casa de Luz. Yeah, that was a great song all around. I wrote it while I was walking my dog, and I wrote all the parts in my head when I was walking. It was cool. It's a good
I'm
song.
the absolute opposite of that, like we talked about earlier, which
Yeah.
means if you're creative, doing it
Well,
doesn't
I've
have.
never done that before. That was a very new thing for me. That was
Okay.
cool. I was writing
Well,
the
other
bass
than
line, writing the chord change. Yeah.
falling leaves you came up with when you were watching, like,
Falling Leaves was inspired immediately by an event. So I had just been walking my dogs in the
can you
fall.
play that on the playlist while we're talking?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here, let me stop this. I think I'm done here. But the point was this: I was showing the original tracks, and
Right.
then I basically turned all of these. I what do they call commit the tracks, right? So all of them
Oh,
to
yeah.
audio and make them all uniform. And then I
Yeah.
export, that's when I create that dump session. And then I dump them as individual tracks for Kilo. And then I send him an email that says 120 beats for it in the key of B minor. And then,
Right.
or if he's not adding music to it, like in this, he's just mixing it. So
Right.
I didn't have to say the key of B minor. Instead, I just said 120 beats per minute.
Right.
But you wanted to hear what?
Oh, we were just talking about the process in Falling Leaves. So if you
Oh
played
yeah,
Falling
yeah.
Leaves on the playlist, if
That's right.
anybody's ever watching this,
Yeah.
know why you're talking about the direct event. That song is sick anyways. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, I agree, man.
everybody likes Falling Leaves.
Let's see. I didn't know what anybody was looking at there, and but now I realize it's my gray hair popping out of my hat.
Oh my God, Bob. We're the same on the inside.
Oh my God. Yeah. All right. Hold on a second. All right. And falling leaves. Falling leaves. What am I looking for? Oh, I gotta share my screen. Here, hold on a second.
Yes.
Spotify, share. All right, and then we want King Matt Black.
Yes,
Bar-
that's buddy on our label. It's us. I obviously we have given away the secret years ago,
I think
but it
so.
was our first collaboration of this is just purely the two of us combined. That album cover is a picture in his backyard that
Oh,
oh, this
oh.
song is fire,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. So, okay, before it starts, so I was walking, Sarah and I were walking our dogs in the fall in upstate New York where I live. And I took that picture of the leaves. It was not actually my yard. I believe that was along the walk, which is like near my town, in my hometown, not, near my house. And we were walking along this walk and I took that beautiful picture. And I was just so inspired by this gorgeous fall day
That
that
picture is so good, bro.
it is, yeah. And I had that picture on my phone and I walked upstairs we got home and I just started playing piano and I just literally my hands fell on these chords. It's real simple. It's like a C major 7 to a G or something. It's just nothing, a real simple chord
Mhm.
change. But I just played it like that. I literally fell into the chords. If you listen, the piano is
You
like
can tell. It sounds very,
it's falling leaves. That's all I was thinking of when I was playing the piano. And so I
it
recorded it.
sounds so unrigid, this song. The
Yeah, it was
guitar
very fluid.
sounds so pieced out.
Yeah. I'm gonna yeah, so I'll
You should
play
be
it.
playing it while we're talking.
Yes.
It is so good.
This is
Then we did the same process. He gave it to me. I
yeah.
did the drums and effects. And
And it kind of started a lot of things for both of us musically. It started a lot of the jazz kind of stuff I got into, and this really was one of the first songs. This and Candles on the Streetlight. I love
see how
this.
that guitar isn't even really on a beat? It's where it is.
Yeah, I love this. Oh yeah, and your drums are all these crazy, like syncopated, cool. It's mellow, but it like those weird breaks and stuff. I love
I
it.
love this song.
I do too. But it's just this simple little, like I said, that's like a C major 7 to a G or G major 7 to I can't remember. And then it just does like probably a D minor or something like that. And you put that effect on the guitar and it was just, oh my God, that's such a beautiful sound. I love that.
God damn, bro.
That's gorgeous, man. And that is all just, it's literally like a little improvised piano part, and I improvise a guitar solo on top of it, and then Kilo mixes it up and makes it crazy cool. And the bass is I'm playing it on keyboard, but it's a upright bass sound from content. That's mostly it. And I did that on a lot of the first jazzy stuff I did. Now I play all live bass guitar.
Oh, and then the real King That Black Fish comes in. I forgot about that.
Oh, this is great. Okay. All
Uh,
right.
okay, what, Bob?
Well, I'm gonna have to get going here in a
That's
minute.
fine.
But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that was a good
Bam,
one too. I'll turn that down.
bam.
But anyway, before we go, do you want to listen
Sure,
to the tracks on your end and see what they sound like?
sure thing, Bob. Let me share. Okay.
I'm sorry. Well, we
Um,
don't have to, man.
no, I want what?
Oh, we
Why?
don't have. I was saying you
What are
said
you sorry about?
I didn't know. I thought maybe you didn't want to. That's all.
No, I definitely want to.
Oh,
I
okay,
said,
cool.
hold on 1 second, please. There's
Oh, all
something.
right. Right
I was
on.
just finding Ableton again.
Gotcha.
Yes, very nice. But yeah, dude, that song, like the end of that song is my interpretation of what happens after the leaves fall.
Yeah, I
Like
love it.
the
Wow.
decay of the song is the leaves decaying back into nature.
Oh, I
Is
love that.
how I don't know if I ever told you that, by the
No,
way.
you didn't, but
I
it's
just
perfect. It's
didn't.
got that whole like that. It does. It's got that decay sound. It's
Yeah,
like
it has that. Okay, so you guys
falling
see
in.
Ableton, correct?
Yep.
Awesome, that's perfecto. So I had to go to my preferences and do the audio, Zoom audio. Congratulations. The old one didn't have that. Like you didn't have to change it. It would just automatically play on Zoom. But okay, we got that here. We got to put the live stream down here. Okay, cool. So what I do is I bring it into one of the last sessions that we've mixed stuff in, usually putting them into the same like category. So if there's a bass sound I've already done, I'll put it into the bass, so on and so forth. But this one, we're doing it with like all of it at zero. So what you want to do is have this not at zero, like all of these down at negative something so that you're not just going to peak the sound out. So this
Right.
right here is exactly what Bob sent me, right? So there's nothing on the master. There's also nothing on the sound.
Sounds good.
Right. So you want to, what I do is I kind of scrub it, see the loud peak, see that that didn't turn red. So that's good. Just go kind of through it to make sure because you don't want to put a master with a limiter and everything on something that has a bunch of red, right? Unless
Right.
you're funk, then you want to make everything red,
Yeah.
fucking,
Right. You don't want to distort it
same
unless
levels
you.
of,
Yeah. You don't
right.
want to distort it unless you want to distort it. Right.
So first and foremost, we have this that we've done. We made this whole chain. We use it a lot on the blue light. This shouldn't be on usually if it's blue light. Also maybe this. So we have this, and then we also have an EQ that we put at the beginning. Let's go ahead and do it without the EQ. That's great. So yeah, so the one other thing we also do on many of our songs is this weird EQ. Don't tell me, don't ask me why this is badass, but it somehow is maybe not with all of those other layers. See how it tightens it up like immensely. We're gonna probably have to change some of that, but I do
Mhm.
love how it's tightening up the response between the bass and the guitar, which don't ask us why this does that. I don't know. It
Right.
just does that, right?
That's funny.
So, I mean,
There's
yeah.
probably some resonant frequency, even just
Oh,
because
we
of my
know that
studio or
there's one
something.
right here in
Right.
most mixes, just,
Hmm.
and you don't
It
want.
probably has to do with the room that I record in or something
Well,
like
it's
that.
on mine too. I
Yeah.
originally made that for some kid that I was mixing a two-track for. And then I
Hmm.
left it on Prince of Darkness on mistake, and I was like, wait, if I take this off, the whole mix sounds way too bleh. Like
Yeah.
everything is everything, which is great in real
Yep.
life, but not in music. Is
Right.
there anything else you want to show people or tell people before you have to go?
No, no, I about we said we you know we did we spent, it was cool. We had a nice time talking, but we spent so much time talking that I ran out of time to do the mix here, but that's okay. I wasn't really planning on doing I wanted to just kind of I wanted to do what we did, and I'm glad we
Well,
did.
they got to hear some King Matt Black shit, which he's fucking fire, right?
Oh
That
yeah. Oh
that
yeah.
is where our evolution as musicians started, right? Because
Hmm.
I did kilo house music, like hard style or like EDM type stuff, and Bob did kind of what, like rock.
Oh, whatever the hell I do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind
whatever you were doing.
of.
And then we did King Matt Black, which freed our mind because we were like, we're this hidden character, blah, blah, blah. And so we made anything and everything we
That's true.
wanted, which showed us what we really wanted to do, right? And sound like. So I make funk music now under the SXR Lucifer name, and
And we didn't
all
know that's what was happening at the time, but that definitely, what you just said is 100% true. That's
comes out
exactly
to
what it
it,
was. We became anonymous as this King Matt Black character for fun. I mean, and
right?
nobody was paying attention. Hey, we were just having fun making music as this anonymous King Matt Black character.
Mhm.
One of Kilo's friends was fooled, I think, but that,
That was, oh, well,
but
yeah.
but I think you're right. I think being that anonymous character freed us up to just kind of realize what it is we wanted to
It's
do. I
when
think
you
it's awesome.
drop your ego of people are going to know this is me,
That's
right?
right. Yep.
Like, oh, what do I want the world to think I sound like? Fuck that. What do you want to think you sound like?
That's right,
Honestly,
man.
truthfully.
That's what do you
Because
want to hear?
when you're anonymous, you're writing music for you. You're writing whatever you want to do or hear or techniques you want to try, which jumped us a huge level mixing wise, mastering wise, and the sounds like jazz that we make now
Yeah.
came dropping the ego, becoming anonymous, and going, oh, this is just me. So
Right on, man. 100% true.
please donate
Absolutely.
to whatever link we put in, whatever we're putting, because
Yes.
the fires are still happening. Hopefully, if you're watching this a year from now, everything is decently back to normal, or the world is just burned down and you're
Well,
watching this from a
I'm gonna
bunker.
vote for the former, not the
Well,
latter.
of course, I still want to Mad Max sometime in my life. I'm just
Okay.
going to say that. Okay, buddy. I love you, bro.
All
And
right, right back at you, buddy.
anybody
Be
that's
safe.
watching it, yeah, I'll be safe and I'll work on this. And hopefully, we see you guys again.
Rock on, man.
Oh, and watch me play Need for Speed at SXR Gaming Community on YouTube and come tell us hi.
There you go.
Bye
Right on.
bye.